Hello, everybody. It is Trusty Huckster Mercantile, Trusty's live vintage sale, vintage live sale. Guess we're a live vintage sale. No, that'd mean the vintage itself was alive. So I guess we're a vintage live sale. We'll go with that. I don't know what I'm saying. Had a rough day, had a long day. This is going to make it an even longer night, but this is what I look forward to. This is where I need to turn off my phone. So this is the live sale once a week. I appreciate everyone who sets time aside and joins me on these Thursday evenings. And who knew that, let's see, 7 months ago, I would have started doing these and that they'd still be going on because none of us realized we'd still be basically locked into our homes. So I hope you enjoy them as much as I do and appreciate you joining me tonight. I'm going to try and jump over to the comments. See, we've got some people joining us this evening. Laura Bemos from THMercantile is here. If you are not following Laura, she has been an active supporter of Trusty, and she participated in the fundraiser for Just One More Dachshund Rescue. That was probably 3 weeks ago, I think it was. She made a great donation of a lot of her resin pieces. And she does some pretty amazing resin pieces. So definitely follow her. She sells on Etsy, eBay, I believe, under THMercantile. And she does some live sales of her own. She's been on one of my live sales before. We got Mama J back in the house. Hey, Mama J, thanks for joining us back. Dragonfly Addict coming in from Georgia. Welcome, the Georgia Peach. We got Judy is joining us. Hey, Judy, thanks for coming in. Belinda Carroll, and I always want to say Belinda Carlisle when I see that. So Belinda Carroll kind of shows my age, but Belinda Carroll's joining us. Thanks for coming back, Belinda. Side Street Market's here. Thank you so much for coming back in. Side Street Market also has been on a live sale. I'm not sure, now I can't remember if you have also been doing live sales yourself. I know you were with Carolina Princess Sweet Treats and Pretties, and they are doing live sales. I actually caught, she did a group sale today with our Vagabond Travels and Vintage Conversation. Yes. And so it was a 3-person sale. That was actually earlier today. So definitely it's one of those cases, and this is for everyone who's coming in. Sandy Otto, Trisha from Sandy and Otto. Sandy and Otto does live sales. Anyone who has live sales, go ahead and drop a little link or mention the name of your channel, although you can kind of tell by the way you're logged in. So mention when your live sales are. Being kind of at the end of the week, it's hard to promote the earlier ones. So we just missed the group sale that Sweet Treats and Pretties did. Michelle from Comfy Cozy Living, she does her sales on Thursdays, so I miss announcing hers. Cindy Thrifting again, she usually does sales on Thursdays, so I miss announcing hers. So you missed a bunch of them today, but hey, thanks for coming to mine. And then basically, I want to say pretty confident we now have at least one, if not multiple live sales every day of the week. So if you are not following, we'll see if she's joined us, but if you're not following Angela Marksberry, she is on, there's Vintage Conversation. Angela Marksberry is on Instagram under A Marksberry, MARKSBERRY, I think. So if she's here, she could drop it, or if somebody wants to drop a link in there. She is posting a calendar by the week. And then Vintage and Vinyl is another one that's a very good follow. Katie does a daily calendar reminder. So if you follow stories and Instagram, you can find at least some of what is going on. So we've got Vintage Uprising Texas. Thanks for joining us. It looks like Side Street Market is saying, so her sales are on Saturdays at 11 a.m. Eastern. So you've got the weekend. Bimo said she was actually live on Instagram. I miss a lot of the Instagram lives. A lot of times they happen during the day, and I have a full-time job. So sometimes I'll see the notification. And if I can, I'll hop on just really quick. But most of the times I miss it because it's one of those cases, if you're not looking when it comes to your notification, you kind of miss it. Nate is here from New Zealand, another channel that you should follow, even if just for the short term. If you're new to this channel, new to the vintage community, Nate is a fixture in all of our vintage, all of the sales, the haul videos, the chats, and he lives in New Zealand. So he is a participant from afar, but he just posted a series of videos for some friend mail that he received. And so he got to show that. And he has some great videos showing just collections that he's built up over time. And he's got some absolutely phenomenal collections. So definitely follow Nate. His channel is 1969 Nathaniel. I guess he's very proud of how old he is. So it's 1969 Nathaniel is his channel if he wants to drop that in. Rebecca Higgins joining in. So welcome, Rebecca. People are jumping in. That's great, but I keep missing. So Annette Fain is here. Oh, and there's Katie. She's talking about her channel. So Katie is here from Vintage and Vinyl. So again, she's a good one. I think she posts most of the calendar events in her stories. I haven't mastered stories yet. I use Instagram, I guess, kind of as old-fashioned as Instagram can be. So I'm pretty sure she does it in stories, and Angela Marksberry does it in the regular chat. Donna Durance. Hi, Donna. I think you might be a new name I've seen before, so welcome to my channel. Enjoy hanging out with us. This is a live sale. But you do not need to buy anything if you don't want to. I refer to everyone who's in my chat as the Huckster Hecklers. So welcome. You are now a unofficial/official Huckster Heckler. And if you don't want to buy anything, that's fine too. Just hang out, chat. Sometimes I'll ask questions. Maybe you can help identify things. Other people have questions. So definitely be following along in the live chat. If you're new to live sales as a concept, they work pretty much the same across the YouTube universe and pretty much in Instagram as well. Kind of where they tend to split. Some go into auctions, some go into more of a buy it now or first to claim. I'm a first to claim model. So basically what that means is when I show you an item and I give you the price, that is the price it will sell for. So you don't have to have deep pockets. You don't have to worry about being outbid. It's really just the first to claim it. So I will show you an item. I will give you the price. I will then give it an item number. Enter it into the live chat. Make sure you're in the chat, not in the comments. And the first person that I see in the live chat will then claim it. I'm going to ask, since I beat up on Nathaniel for the last couple times, Katie, if you're planning on sticking around, I'd love if you'd be able to help me out and monitor my sales. Relatively short one. So probably not really fair. No, we do not have to. We're not selling 200 vintage maxi pads, so you don't have to be scared, Katie. But if you could help me out, I would appreciate that. So it's just the first to claim. So the first person that Katie will see in her chat is the person who will claim it. She will type that person into the chat. So if you are trying to get something, just follow the chat and make sure you're in live chat, not top chat. There's a weird algorithm that in some cases top chat is only going to give you the top comments. So you may actually miss the comment that says who won. So just make sure you're in live chat and just be aware again, if you're new, this is something the old timers are familiar with, but if you're new, usually you will be the first person you will see on your own feed because you are the closest person to your own internet. Funny how that works. So if you refresh your feed, if you see Katie announces or I announce over the air, somebody else wins it and you thought you were the first. Usually if you just refresh your feed, it'll populate the way the rest of us are seeing it. So you'll know. And that also goes for if you see people start claiming numbers, if you're watching the chat and suddenly numbers are showing up on your screen and I have not said the number out loud yet, you're buffering. You may not think you're buffering, but you're buffering. So you need to refresh your screen, whether on your computer or your mobile device. You can either refresh or just close it and reopen it again, whichever is the easiest. And that should usually get your chat to match what I'm saying to match the chat. So it actually gives you a pretty good shot. You don't have to have the fastest internet in the world, but if you know it's slow, refresh as often as you can. If you see something you don't like, refresh it because then you're not going to miss anything and you might be lined up for the next time. So just some tips. So Dana has joined us and then she flew right by. So, okay, Dana has joined us, Grace 2010H. And there's Carolina Princess. So Beth is joining us, mentioned her sale. Beth meant, I don't know if you're going to continue doing group sales or if your sales will always be on Thursdays. I happened to catch her group sale today. So Beth, if you want to make a drop in the chat to show where, when you're doing your sales, please feel free to do that. And there's our Vagabond Travels. She was part of that group sale today. So sorry you guys missed their sale. They had some great items and some really good prices. So definitely always something going on. If you follow all of the channels, you can get notifications, etc. Connie Cable has joined us. CLC is here. So thank you for joining us. And there's, I think I said Vintage Conversation. I think I already shouted her out. So we're already a few minutes after the hour. Pretty much those are the general, not really rules, just kind of the way things work. So again, I will go through the evening. It's not too long, not a huge sale. And I definitely will be done in time for at 11 p.m. Eastern. So I'll be done well before that. But at 11 p.m. Eastern, this Overstuffed House is now doing live sales as well. She did her first live sale on Thanksgiving. It went really well for her. So she is now going to continue doing those on Thursday evenings. And she is geared for the Night Owls / West Coast because she starts at 11 p.m. Eastern. So just keep that in mind. She will be then after I am done. So if you notice, for those of you who've joined me in the past, you know something a little bit different behind me. I'm announcing something. If you're going to try something different, don't know if it's going to be popular or not, but you're going to throw it out there. Some of you have been watching, if you are following in the vintage community, active in the vintage community, you've seen some resellers, some channels are doing Patreon. They are doing memberships within YouTube. They're doing these special programs that are designed to be kind of like a monthly gift that you then get something. So like if I know for Patreon, I support a lot of people through Patreon. Sometimes you get bonus episodes. Patreon is a really great service for a lot of artistic and content creators. I support multiple channels through that. It's patreon.com. And there are many resellers in YouTube that are active on Patreon as well. Then if there's also through YouTube a membership option. My struggle with something like that is it does then require every month to provide something extra. And for those who don't follow my channel, you may not know that this is a side hustle for me. I have a full-time job. I've been able to dedicate a lot more time to Trusty Mercantile lately because as part of our current environment situation, I am not traveling anymore. So I usually travel for my job, which would make all of these things a lot more difficult. I assume I will travel again someday. And so it concerns me to sign anybody up for any sort of a membership. I'd feel so guilty trying to give you some perks for that I'm afraid I wouldn't be able to provide. So I'm doing it a little bit different. I am creating if anyone follows Antiques Freaks, they are a podcast that I support through Patreon. So it's Antiques Freaks. And there's two individuals. They do a series of different podcasts, all different topics, but they basically do a series of deep dives. They don't really interview anybody, but they'll take one topic, usually suggested from Patreon members or people that support their channel, and they will do a deep research into specific topics, and sometimes very specific topics. So they've covered ironstone, they've covered dragonware, they've covered all kinds of just some older, some not, some more vintage as opposed to antique, across the board. They have a program called Vintage Postcard of the Month. So what they are doing is you give them a monthly donation, and for that monthly donation, they will send you a vintage postcard. Well, I'm stealing that idea, but instead of doing it 1 month at a time, because again, I've got to be able to plan for this, we're doing it all at once. So on either side of me are two packages. You can do this for yourself. You just want to have fun. You want me to send you a different vintage postcard every month, or you can do this. I'm doing it in December for a reason. If you are into holiday giving, happy Hanukkah for those who celebrate it. If you are into holiday giving, you can purchase one of these as a gift. So I've got two different options available. Basically what it breaks down to is, if you do a 6-month program, you're paying for 5 months. I'm going to give you 1 month for free. For $25, I'll send you 6 vintage postcards. I will send them in an envelope. I actually had a conversation with one of my viewers. Happy birthday, Melody. I don't know if Melody has joined us, but today is her 60th birthday. But I happened to be chatting with her about this, and she was concerned that I was going to send postcards through the mail and I was going to write on them. And although that doesn't freak me out nearly as much as it freaked her out, I decided that I didn't want to offend anyone. So what I will be doing is I will send them to you in an envelope, but it is all postage paid. So for $25, I will send you 3 used postcards, postmarked used, and I will send you 3 vintage postcards that have not been used. So if you then want to send them in the mail, you can, but I will send them in a postcard. So it's $25 for 6 months, and you can do that by giving me number 61. And if you want to do a 12-month service, you can do that for $50. So you're basically buying 10, getting 2 free, $5 a month. For $50, you can do a 12-month program, and you'll get 6 in unused condition and 6 that have been postmarked already. No limits on these. That's why they're sitting up on the piano. So at any point during the sale, you can participate in this. If you want to purchase one via as a gift, just send me an email afterwards. My email is on the screen. Just send me an email of who you want that gift to go to. And in the month of December, I will be sending an email to anybody who is either participating or has gotten a gift purchase participating. I will send them an email saying that they're going to get that, and the first postcard will ship in January. So if you're interested in doing getting vintage postcards of the month, just add a 99 or add a 61, and you will start getting postcards throughout the year. So hope you people are interested in that, and we shall see how that goes. But other than that, of course, once I start talking, I kind of lose the chat. Somebody has 7 children. Okay, so we're gonna pass over that, so I don't offend anyone. Most of the names I'm recognizing, so we are going to get things started. All right, first item I've got, what do I want to start with? First item is the one that's closest to me, so I'll just start with this one. I will say there's no real theme for this evening, but I am going to have a bargain bin. Usually the bargain bin only comes out when I do the when I do a themed evening. This one, kind of the unofficial theme, is the booth that I am currently selling in, the Rustic Fox in North Aurora, where I have a booth. They are implementing a new tagging system, and the deadline to get everything tagged was today. Guess who didn't finish? Me. So I cheated, and I grabbed a bunch of stuff out of the booth that wasn't tagged, brought it home, and said, let's try and sell it in a live sale. So I'm giving you much better prices than I'd have at the booth because I don't have to pay them commission, and I don't have to deal with, just having to re-tag everything. So starting things off is actually kind of a group lot that I'm doing, and it's all of my geisha ware. So you've got 3 different sizes of cups and saucers. You've got a larger, the tall cup and saucer. None of these have the lithophane at the bottom. I checked. So you just have the geisha ware. This one they're all marked differently. They're not part of the same series. They just all have the same style of design. This one happens to be marked as a Fort Dearborn brand, which admittedly I'm not familiar with. So you've got the bowl with the tall coffee cup. You've got a coffee/tea cup, the lower style. This one has the Japanese mark on the bottom. So you've got that one, cup and saucer. And then the third one is probably moving more to like a demi-tasse. Maybe that was a coffee and this is the tea, but this is, let me hold them together. They are pretty differently sized. So you can kind of see this one is significantly smaller than this one. So I'm guessing this is a demi-tasse, but it still has some dimension to it. But this is probably about a 4 to 6 ounce cup. And this one does not have a marking on it at all. So again, these are not necessarily all part of the same pattern, but they're all definitely of the same style. So they had all individually been marked as $4, $5, and $5. I am taking all of them, all 3 of them, I'm selling them for $6. So $2 a piece. So $2 a piece for the 3 teacups, coffee cups, and saucers of the geisha ware. $6, give me number 93. $6, number 93 for the geisha ware. So Rita from Poteet's Vintage Fine is saying that the large one would then be the coffee, and the smaller one would then be the tea. I guess that makes sense, particularly once upon a time, tea was much more expensive. So that would make sense that the teacup would be a little bit smaller. So number 93, $6 for the three pieces of geisha ware. Next item pops up in several of my sales. Slowly but surely, it is getting smaller, but I still had some Wade whimsies. And what I did, I finally did a little bit of the research that I've been avoiding to try and figure out what series I had left. And it turned out that I had 5 pieces that are still sealed in the original plastic packaging that are from the nautical calendar series. So you've got the deep diving helmet, which is kind of like the logo that I use for my vintage deep dive. I personally own one of these because of the vintage deep dives. So I've got a dark blue diving helmet from that series, a coral pink conch shell from that series, the white seagull from that series, the compass, and the starfish / sea star. So you've got 5 pieces from the nautical calendar series, all 5 of them still wrapped in their original packaging. Yes, 93 was a geisha ware, and it looks like that went to Karen Dondelinger. So thank you, Karen, for picking that up. It's been so long since I've sent something breakable to California. So I'm so glad we could just fix that trend. Just kidding. So Karen's picking the geisha ware. So the 5 pieces of the Wade whimsies and still in their packaging, all 5 as a set is $12. So $12 for the set of 5 Wade whimsies from the nautical series, available as number 87. 87 for the 5 nautical Wade whimsies for $12. All right. This next item comes out of the booth, and this had been holding. What had this been holding? I don't remember what this was holding, but it wasn't holding anything when I grabbed it. So I was like, oh, it's not tagged, so I need to sell it. So it is a little wooden cracker tray. It looks like Stacy Brinkley is picking up the Wade whimsies. So thank you, Stacy, for picking those up. I cannot guarantee how old this is, because if you look really closely on the bottom, you can see the bottom is stapled onto the sides, and you have very smooth, round-headed, almost like brass nails that are holding the little edge pieces to the long sides. This is all one long side, and this is all one piece on this long side, and the top does actually fold, and I don't know why. So I'm not sure if there's a purpose to that, but it does fold. It makes it a little bit easier to ship, I guess. But so it's got the little folding piece. It does have the crackers labeled on here. But if you saw my one of my videos from the store, some people take vintage pieces and then put labels on there. Again, I can't swear that this is vintage. It's just cool. It's an awesome size, because you can see it's actually only a couple inches wide. So it could hold crackers, but it could also hold a number of small items as well. And I think this would just be great in all kinds of vintage displays, because these would be great for like the little candle holders, the little individual candle holders. You could just line those all up with different heights of candles. I think it would look cool. And it's only $5. So $5 for the wooden cracker tray, $5 for the wooden cracker tray, and that is number 12. $5, number 12 for the wooden cracker tray. All right. Next item, I ended up, basically I started unboxing things as well. There's a lot of stuff from the booth, but there's also a lot of stuff because I didn't have that much to retag. So a lot of it was just kind of going through boxes of things that I had to sell. And I kind of stumbled across a box that if you watch some of my old videos, you would have seen some of these discussed in a video, because I did a video early on that talked about how I got into reselling, which was basically through community theater. I used to do set design and props for community theater when community theater, existed. And I was slowly building up this collection of all these props and set designs that I wasn't reusing. I always had the intention of keeping them until the next one, but then I buy new stuff. So I had all these items that I'd never used. And this ended up being one of them. So This is a 1979 Thunderbird sales brochure. So this is, and it looks like number 12, the wood tray went to Terry Sarcinella. So thank you, Terry, for picking that up and from purchasing from me again. Anyway, this was last seen, and to be perfectly honest, only seen on the set of Death Trap, where I both performed. If you know the movie, I played the Christopher Reeve role. I was so old for that role, but regardless, I played the Christopher Reeve role, but I also helped do the set decorating. So this was in, the show itself takes place in 1978. So I specifically found the 1979 sales brochure because that's what would have been out promoting the next year. So you've got the Ford Thunderbird brochure, you got the Ford Thunderbird picture on the front, and then you open it up, that we're just talking like, let's do flashbacks here of what were the late 70s cars looking like. Everyone knows the Thunderbird, but there was maybe an era that they didn't always look the way people kind of want to remember them looking, particularly in the colors. That is, I don't even know what color that would be considered. I wonder if it says Thunderbird with sports decor group in burnt orange glow. Could 3 words sum up the 1970s any better? Burnt orange glow. You've got, I don't know why they're sitting out there with a biplane. Like, okay, it was the 70s, but it wasn't the 20s. So I'm not sure what that was about. Got the silver. Oh, who remembers this? High Edge class, if I can find the camera. The headlight cover lamp covers that flipped up when you turned on your headlights. You just don't see those anymore, and kind of for a reason. So this is just fun. It's totally legit. This was a piece that I found. I'm selling it for less than I paid for it because it's one of those cases. None of you signed on to my sale today knowing you needed a 1979 Ford Thunderbird brochure. So I did, so I paid more for it, but that's okay. I'm going to pass it on, let it go into some good hands. 1979 Ford Thunderbird being sold for $8. Yes, Dana, that's you knew the 70s. It's a pimp car. It is $8 and it is number 2. $8, number 2 for the 1979 Thunderbird sales brochure. All right, I'm going to make through the stack that's sitting right next to me here. So then the next item, this one I had picked up primarily to be a riser for other pieces that was on display in my booth. So this actually did come out of my booth. It wasn't making a very big riser. And what I discovered was the amount of real estate that it took up to elevate anything. It just took up a lot of space. So this is actually something I decided not to put back into my booth just because it took a lot of space. But it still is a super awesome box because it is a wooden chocolate box. It's Polish. You can see it's Wawel from Krakow, Poland. And it's assorted chocolate. So it's still for the Western market, for the English market. Got the little brass, lock on the front. It does have the label inside. It is dated. The chocolate's expired in 2004. So we're probably going into 18 years or so age. So not like super, super vintagey, but still a really nice looking box, kind of a fun, the really dark red color with the gold printing on it. It would be great for your individual displays, whether propped up behind just to give a dark backdrop or to use it as a riser in your own real estate. It is originally had been in my booth for $8. It is now being sold for $4. So $4. Oh, Melody's here. Happy birthday, Melody. $4 for the Wawel Krakow chocolates. $4 by giving me number 55. $4.55 for the Krakow chocolate box. Hope you had a great birthday, Melody. Happy 60th. All right. Next one, I admittedly don't have, and not on purpose, okay, I'm kind of lying. All right, well, let me do this, and I'll do the next thing. I don't have a lot of Christmas stuff for 2 reasons. I just did a vintage Christmas sale. Okay, so that, took care of some of it. There's an event at the booth at the store tomorrow, so you have to be local. There's a special evening hours event at the Rustic Fox from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. So there's some late night selling. So a lot of the vintage Christmas is part of that. But I also ended up finding a piece. Again, I started going through some of those, that box that came with a lot of props. And I found a prop that I didn't even think to use as a Christmas decor prop. So I have two of them. One of them I dug out and I'm using it for my own Christmas decor. And the other one I am selling here. And it is a Princess Mary tin. It is a reproduction. So I'm going to be 100% upfront with that. It is a reproduction, but it is a very expensive reproduction because these puppies don't exist in the US. What this is it is dated right on here. It's a very good reproduction, by the way. It is dated right on here, Christmas 1914. If everyone can turn to page 3 in your history book, you'll remember that was the middle of World War I. So what this was, a little brass box that was sent by Princess Mary to all of the British troops that were fighting in the war on the Western Front. In it, there would be a little package of cigarettes. There might be a little pack of deck of playing cards, some memo paper and a pencil to write notes home. Each one hits, there would be some candy. It was just a tiny little box that was delivered to every single soldier in the British Empire's army. I picked these up. I had to order them from England. I picked these up. I bought 2 of them because I was doing a show, the third show I ever did. It was called Midnight Clear, the Christmas Truce of 1914. Yeah, I think that was the name of it. Anyway, I played a Scotsman, wore a kilt. I ran a flea circus. It was great. Anyway, so we needed these for the soldiers. And the theater couldn't afford to buy them, so I did. So I'm keeping one for myself, and this one still has a tag on the back for the name of who was getting it, Percival Kavanaugh. No one would be able to see that. It was primarily put there so that mine wasn't stolen. So you've got the box. It is super cool. It is Christmas. There's a great story behind the box. There's the profile of Princess Mary on the box itself. It's got the different countries all the way around it that were fighting on the Britain's side during the war. It's just a cool box, some cool history, and I figured I wanted to pass one on. So like I said, I have 2, keeping one, selling the other. So the Princess Mary reproduction box is available. It is $15. $15 for the brass box, $15, give me number 86. $15.86 for the Princess Mary box. All right. If you follow my Instagram channel, you see I would usually the day of and the day before, and if I'm like super organized, maybe 2 days before, I will try and do some previews of items that I'm going to be including in the sale. Like I said, depends on how organized I am. This is an item that was set in a box. I picked this up from an estate sale. I don't know if Found Again for You. I don't know if she's in here, but Kelly from Found Again for You and I basically raided an estate sale that was supposed to last about 2 months and turned into 2 weeks because the owners of it was their parents' house sold the house before the estate sale was done. So we literally went in there and everything was just some great deals. And so this was an item that I picked up and I promoted in my Instagram stories. It is a depression glass. It is pink. I'm not sure if the pink is actually showing up. It's a very, very pale pink, but then you've got the gilded trim across the top. It looks like Auntie Christy got number 86, the Princess Mary tin. So thanks for picking that up, Auntie Christy. So you've got the gold trim on the top on both the front and the back. So you've got a front and a back to this. If you're not familiar with the fan vase, this is how they're designed. So you'd be able to put your flowers in and they'd create a wide spread across the top, but they would not be dimensional front to back. So you'd be able to put this against maybe against a wall, however you wanted to do it. It just gives a very unique shape to the flowers that you would put into this. It is in absolutely perfect condition. There's no chips, there's no cracks. The gilding has a little bit of rubbing like right at the top, which where you'd be expected is, as flowers drape over this. So you do a little bit of wear from that, but as a piece, in use, that's just not something you're going to be able to see. It's a fantastic piece. This one actually would have ended up going to Etsy, but I decided to put that available for you here, and I'm making it available for $18. So $18 for the pink depression glass vase with the gilt trim, $18. You can have that by giving me number 84. $18, number 84 for the pink fan vase. And this overstuffed house, it wasn't 30 mystery boxes. It was actually 35. So yes, if you, so Kim must be here, or else we're talking about her. So Kim from Oh My Vintage won the raffle that we ran as part of the Just One More Dachshund Rescue fundraiser, JOMDR.org. That was in November, and 35 individual resellers, and in some cases just fans, viewers and dog lovers from around the country, 35 individual people donated mystery boxes. And so when Kim won, we just flooded her home with 35 boxes. So she did her first video last week. If you don't follow her on Oh My Vintage, you go ahead and follow her. You'll find that video from last Saturday. And she says hopefully she'll be doing another one next week. She only opened 5 in the first video, so these will be lasting for quite some time. So yes. So okay, that must have been what you were saying. So yes, there's 30 left to open because she opened the 5 and she's still opening 30 more. So yes. That is, and it was fun to see the ones that she opened because I didn't even know what she was getting. People volunteered to say, hey, we wanted to send things. And I'm like, sure. But they could have sent a postcard for all I knew. They did not send postcards. Some of the boxes, I think one of the boxes had something like 11 items in it. I mean, there were some pretty amazing things. So I just lost the chat, just disappeared. So Vintage and Vinyl, Katie's telling me that number 84, the pink glass vase, goes to Rags to Riches in SATX. So I'm assuming that's San Antonio, Texas. I think I still have that San Antonio pottery salsa bowl. Anyway, so Rags to Riches, congratulations. That is a beautiful piece, and I'm glad. I'm sure you're going to give it a good home. So I hope you enjoy that. All right, another piece that and Carolyn Whitney, hello, welcome. I didn't mean to do that, but hello. And hello to all the people that joined in since I did the first welcome. Don Schunkweiler's here. Don is actually runs the Dachshund Rescue. So JOMDR.org. She is actually the founder of it. So we actually collected over $3,500, and I'm actually thrilled to announce that the only item that did not sell, which was that vintage oil painting donated by Moonstruck CLE, that did just sell, and it sold for $160. So it wasn't the most expensive item that we sold. The most expensive item we sold was donated by Vintagerous. She donated a series of cigarette cards that sold for $200. So there were some very nice items as part of that fundraiser. But the last one, it didn't sell during the live sale, so I put it up on Etsy. Sold for $160. There's fees and things that'll tell me out, but we'll add that to the total. So in the end, I believe we will end up having raised over $3,600 for the Just One More Dachshund Rescue. So if you weren't a part of that, it's a great organization, great place. If you're looking for charitable giving during the Christmas season, she does some great work with senior dogs, regular, primarily all dachshunds, but of all types. So I was glad that last piece sold, so more money will go to that. Yes, and I saw that Auntie Christie got the Queen Mary tin. Entirely valid asking me because, again, I'm horrible at following the chat. All right, another item that I promoted in my Instagram, and oh my God, I'm going to break it. Hold on. Ha, got it. Okay, so another item that I posted in the Instagram, I think it was today. These are items that were coming out of the booth. It is my lusterware pieces. So you've got this absolutely fantastic tall creamer. It does have a stamp on the bottom that it was made in, I should have looked at this up before, Yeah, it was made in Japan. I thought it was, but I wanted to make sure. Made in Japan, perfect condition. It is decorated on both the front and the back, although the tag is on the back. Don't worry about the price because I'm giving a good deal. It's got the pedestal base, the monumental height. It is just a fantastic. I'm assuming it's still a creamer because it's not really big enough to be a water jug or milk jug or anything like that, for anything more than coffee. But in comparison, I'm selling it as part of this lusterware set. So you've got the coffee cups. So this is the creamer. And then you've got the 2 coffee cups that basically, again, they're not kind of like the geisha ware. It's not all a perfect match. They're not from the same set. But if you are a collector of the blue lusterware, these are going to be some great pieces. So this one has the blue luster on the outside and on the saucer, but then with the peach luster on the inside and the center of the saucer. These are both unmarked. There's numbers on them, but no maker's mark. And then the other one is decorated just on the front. There's the floral design. On the back, it's plain, but you've got the blue luster all the way around the rim. And then the saucer is also decorated with the blue rim and then also the peach blossom in the middle. And this one does have the stamp on the bottom, made in Japan. So these had been, let's see, they were 5, 5, and 15. So it had been $25. I am selling all 3 of them for $12. So $12 for the 3 pieces of lusterware, $12 by giving me number 83. $12.83 for the creamer and 2 coffee cups in the lusterware. All right, let me see if I can catch up. Thrift U is here. Yay. Hey, I don't know, maybe Sam, maybe Sarah. Probably Sam. Trying to see if I missed in the chat. If I missed announcing anything, because I'm not setting things down in order, and so I don't remember what the last item was I sold. But I think I announced the fan vase, so I think we were good. Okay, so that was 83, $12. Looks like I've got some takers on that one, so I'll wait for Katie to say who got that. Next one was again another piece that I picked up to be a riser. This one had the secondary problem or separate problem. It took up less space, but it also provided less space to actually set anything on it because it's just a little rectangular box. But it is a cool box. It is a painted lid. It is unfinished on the inside, but it's painted on the lid and painted on the sides. It is not painted on the back, and it's just the varnish on the bottom. It had been $8 in my booth. And here I'm selling it for $4. So $4 for the painted. It's kind of like a toll painting, like kind of the toll style. So the toll painting design on the top, it's only $4. $4 for the painted box. If I give me number 20, and it looks like the number 83, the lusterware went to Serendipity by Melanie. So thank you, Melanie, for picking that up. So the box, number 20, $4. Okay, there's some takers on that. All right, another piece. I think I did see Barb from Winking Owl Antiques. Hi, Barb. This is another pair that came out of my booth. It's one of these cases that, to be perfectly honest, I should sell these on Etsy. Barb and I've talked about this brand before. It is a higher end brand. I don't come across it very often, but we found a book so we could research it. These are Lamberton Scamell restaurant ware pieces. And they are, again, we're talking maybe demitasse cups, maybe based on what we said before, maybe teacups, but they're just smaller than a coffee cup. Let me pull the lusterware one. You can kind of see it basically fits all the way inside. So probably a demitasse cup, a very, very small handle. It's got a beautiful green band with the yellow and then the bouquet design in the center. They're just super sweet looking. I love the design. I love the shape. And these to me would never, I'd need like 18 of these to have my caffeine in the morning. So to me, these would be like great for air plants. These would just be, yeah, maybe they are espresso because they are smaller. and they are tall. So, that might make sense. Christy, maybe they're espresso. They're just super cool. I was selling them for $8 a piece in the booth. Here, I'm going to sell $6 for the pair. So I got them for a good price. I'm selling them on to you for a good price. So the pair of Lamberton Scamell restaurant wear, the pair of them is only $6, less than I was listing one individually. $6 for the Lamberton Scamell by giving me number 94. Number 94, $6 for the Lamberton Scamell. And I missed who got it. So Auntie Christie got number 20, the painted box. All right, the Thunderbird brochure did not sell. I'm doing this out loud for Katie, so in case I make a mistake. And the Polish chocolate box did not sell. So I'm just going to keep track as I run through the rest of the items. All right, the next piece, this is actually coming out of my personal collection. This is an item, and if you watched, I did a series of unboxing videos at the beginning of our initial lockdown, and I was judging. Okay, I didn't mean to be judging, but that's what it turned into. I was judging and analyzing how well or poorly individual people packed their shipments. And this was one of the first shipments I got that was packed so amazingly well. Some of the tips that from where she shipped, I now use. But this was purchased specifically for my personal collection. It was designed purchased specifically to go onto the half wall that I have by my front door. And this was specifically now an example of how you need to be paying attention to the measurements, because I didn't. And when this thing showed up, I'm like, wow, that's really small. And so I've been moving it around my living room. And when I finally decorated for Christmas, I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to call it quits. This is not long for my collection. So I bought it off of Etsy. So I paid full price for it. I definitely paid up because I never planned to resell it. And here I am reselling it. So I'm selling it for what I paid for it. I'm selling it for $15. It is a Royal Winton porcelain. So it is a high-end porcelain made in England. It's in absolutely perfect condition. No chips, no craps. There's some great coloration to it, some great veining, just some great detail. I really just am not using it because it's a little small for my purposes. Just so we're in complete disclosure, it is 11.5 inches long. So it's not tiny. It's just, again, if you saw my video, you see what my half wall looks like, and it's longer than 11.5 inches. This looked funny sitting in the middle of it. So it's $15 for the Royal Winton leaf dish, $15 by giving me number 19. $15, number 19 for the Royal Winton leaf dish. And I think I'm caught up. Okay. No, wait a minute. Number 94, I missed who got number 94. The Lamberton cups went to Carolyn Whitney. Congratulations, Carolyn, for picking up the Lamberton Scamell, possibly espresso cups, thanks to Auntie Christie. All right. Next one, I'm going to pull this out because I forgot to sell this last week. So last week I did have a theme and I did some promotions and I included this in my promotions, and then I forgot to include it in the sale. It is my spam bag. And literally what happened? No, we did have a taker, Katie. It looks like Four Sandy's Lilacs took number 19. So unless I'm having an aneurysm, I'm pretty sure I see Four Sandy's Lilacs. So this is literally a tote bag, very large tote bag for spam. Now, I do not remember the glorious spam night. I have no idea why there's a night on the spam. But anyway, this I'm sure is not super old. It's that Tyvek type material. But again, hopefully you can get the perspective. This thing is massive. This is not like a grocery tote. This is huge. It covered up my table. Where's my tape measure? It is 20 inches across and 16 inches tall. So you've got a very large tote here and a magnetic notepad with pen. Now the pen is turned in such a way, it doesn't look like the pen, oh yes, it does. You can see there's the spam logo is on the pen as well. And it is a spam notepad. So you can have all the spam that your email can't handle, you can now have in your personal life. It is a spam tote bag and a spam note card and pen. And this is still sealed. So we are talking the perfect Christmas gift. Perfect gift. The spam bag and spam notepad and pen. And you can have the perfect spam gift for $8. So $8 for the spam set by giving number 34. $8, number 34 for the bag and the notepad and pen. Okay. Shuffle some of this out of the way. All right. I mentioned earlier that I was saying I didn't really have any Christmas stuff other than the Christmas tin, and I lied because I was prepping for the Christmas event at the booth at the store for my booth at the store. But again, everything was supposed to be retagged. I wasn't done. So I pulled a bunch of stuff out of the booth simply so I didn't get into my hand slapped for not having the tags made. I may have pulled a little too much, but that's okay because I have 6 vintage Christmas mystery boxes. So if you like mystery boxes, I have 6. They are 2 are this size, 2 are the priority mail shoebox size, 1 is the long priority box flat one, and then 1 is massive because one of the items in there is kind of big, but lightweight. So I will try and be careful that I don't ship the big one to someplace really far away. But anyway, I ended up having 6. So the way the mystery boxes work in general and the way they very specifically are working this time is they are $15. So you pay $15 for the mystery box plus the shipping. Inside, everything still has tags on it because they were the old tags that were in the booth that I needed to replace. So everything still is tagged. Everything in the box is at least $25 to $30. So for $15, you are getting $25 to $30 worth of Christmas items. Most of it is vintage. There might be a handful of pieces that are not as old, but they're still going to meet the aesthetic. And you've seen the way I price things in general. I price things in my booth also attractively. So when I say it's worth 25 to 30, you know, from other places, it might be worth even more. So there are 6. So sorry, Katie, I lied. You do need to keep track of 6. So this is the case. This is $15. The first 6 people that Katie sees in the chat that are claiming this, the mystery boxes, will get them. And you're not going to get them in any special order because at this point they're made. So you're just going to randomly get one, except I'll probably send the biggest one. I might go someplace maybe a little bit more local, or I'll just be sensitive to the shipping costs on that one. So anyway, so you've got 6, $15, and you can first 6 people to claim one with number 82. Number 82, $15 for the vintage Christmas boxes with items from my booth. And while those are coming in, do not forget what's behind me, the postcard gifts. These are for yourself or for friends. Vintage, basically, it's a vintage postcard of the month program. If you want 12 of them, you'll get one a month throughout 2021. You do that for $50, give me number 99. And if you only want 6, give me number 61, and that's $25. You can do that at any point during the sale. Make sure you send me an email afterwards, just in case we lose it in the chat. But if you want those, there's no limit on those. I will just make sure I've got enough postcards. Half the postcards you receive will be unused. Half the postcards will be vintage with vintage posted. So a little bit of mix. They'll be mailed to you. $25, $50. You can buy them for yourself, buy them for gifts. If you want to do it as a gift, just when you send me the email, tell me who you want to send it to, and they will get a gift from you throughout the next year. So it looks like we had some takers on the Christmas items, and we had way more than 6. So I'm looking for Katie's note to see if she's recovered and captured the 6 that she saw. Okay, don't see that. All right, next one. This goes back into the prop box. This item last showed up on the set of Jekyll and Hyde, the musical. I was not in that show. I just did the prop design, props, and some of the set design for that. And so this was on the lab bench of Henry Jekyll. It is technically, it's a mustard pot, but it is basically a cool nouveau pattern of the cut aluminum, cut chrome with the glass insert, and the glass insert does come out. I took the insert out and I tried to read all the way around the bottom and even on the inside of the bottom, and unfortunately it doesn't appear to be marked. So I don't know its true age. I don't know, anything about it. I just really liked it for the cool design, because you can see as you flex back the lid, the little decorative hinge folds back with it. It does not have the spoon that comes with it. This to me would be something that you would leave it partially propped open and have maybe some silk flowers falling out of it, or just use it as a candy dish. It's just kind of a cool piece. It again lasts on the set of Jekyll and Hyde, the musical, and it is only $5. So $5 for the little mustard pot Jekyll and Hyde container. $5 would give me number 52. $5, number 52 for the mustard pot. So let me see. All right. So Vintage and Vinyl is saying that Our Vagabond Travels, Auntie Christie, Melody Harris, Melody's Many Miscellaneous, Nettie. That's a new one to me. Apologize, Nettie, or if I haven't noticed you before. So welcome, Nettie. Just make sure you send me your email because I don't think I've shipped to you before. So Nettie, Rags to Riches, and Linda Clark get the get the 6 vintage Christmas boxes, mystery boxes. I hope you really like them. Nettie also got the mustard pot. So number 52, the mustard pot also goes to Nettie. Great. Nettie's saying is first time here. So welcome, everyone. Welcome, Nettie. Oh, Pug. Okay. Louie's got competition. Katie, we've got what looks like a pug in Nettie's icon there. So just send me an email to the email address on the screen, just with your shipping information, and I will make sure to get the invoice with the shipping cost out to you. All right, next items that are coming in. I actually took great attention to Beth's sale, Sweet Treats and Pretties, her sale today, because she had one of these in her sale. Not exactly, but I was paying attention. These came out of my booth because I did not get them tagged in time. These are vintage cookbooks. And I say vintage, but probably they're all within the last 10 to 20 years, because what they are is they're the style of cookbook that's made by some sort of a group. So this one was made by the Williams Auxiliary Infant Welfare Society of Chicago. So you've got a hardcover all the way around, spiral binding on the inside, and this one actually has colored photographs going through it. So you've got a pretty nice set of not a lot of photographs, but you've got a pretty nice looking cookbook that I originally had in my booth for $7. With that, I'm also selling the Junior League of Evanston North Shore. So this is the North Shore of Chicago. Same side. It is a hardcover, glossy binding all the way around. When you open it up, it still has a spiral binding. This one does not have the glossy pages. This one has just the matte pages, and this one doesn't have the color photographs in the front and the back. But it's in great condition, and it's got a really cool cover on it. It's a sure thing. This had been in my booth for $5. And the last one is a sweet celebration of the Pi Beta Phi Cookie Shine, which I guess is a thing. It says the women of Pi Beta Phi are happy to introduce Angel Sweets and Arrow Treats, a sweet celebration of Pi Beta Phi Cookie Shine. Cookie Shine is a treasured Pi Phi tradition and serves as the inspiration for this book, and includes more than 175 tried and true recipes from Pi Phi members. So you've got a cookie book, same thing. It's the same style. It's got the hardcover all the way around with a spiral on the inside. This one does have some color photos as you go through it. So this one had been $6. So I'm selling the lot of 3 cookbooks all in perfect condition, beautiful condition, all with some great themes from the organizations that issued them. All 3 of them, $9. So $9 for the set of 3 cookbooks. You could have those by giving me number 78. $9, number 78 for the 3 sets of cookbooks. All right. Okay, it looks like Sandy is asking Katie a question. Who's talking about haggis? I don't think I hope that cookie recipe doesn't have haggis in it. All right. Next item also is coming out of my booth. This one is a piece of Francoma. I picked this up quite a bit, and sometimes it sells well, sometimes it doesn't. I never know like what the going pieces are. This one I had in my booth during election time, thinking it would do really well. It's the Uncle Sam mug that was issued during bicentennial. So it is stamped on the bottom, Francoma FP 1976. It is the yellow clay, but you don't have to question when it was made because it says right on there it's 1976 and it's Uncle Sam. So it is the bicentennial. They also do Democrat and Republican mugs. I've sold some of those before. This one I had been selling in the booth for $9. It didn't sell prior to the election. So I'm now selling it here for $5. So $5 for the Francoma Uncle Sam mug, $5 for number 49. $5.49 for the Francoma mug. All right. Let's see. Number 78, a lot of cookbooks got taken by Jennifer Lab Mama. And I'm going to assume that's like a Labrador Retriever, not a chemical lab, but who am I to judge? I've got a chemistry degree, so you might be a lab mama that way too. So number 49, $5 for the Francoma Uncle Sam mug. Looks like there might be a debate in who claimed one of the items. So if there's any questions, just let me know. Number 93 was the geisha teacups. That went to Karen Dondelinger. So somebody was just asking about 93. Stacy Brinkley picked up number 87. She picked up the lot of Wade Whimsies, the Wade Whimsy lot. The nautical Wade Whimsy. I couldn't think of the word. All right. So hopefully I'm answering the questions that came up. All right. Next item is another lot set. These all coming from my booth. And to be perfectly honest, looking at the tag, I think I'm selling these for less than I paid for them. But that's okay because I'm clearing up space. So 83, the lusterware went to Serendipity by Melanie, was 83. Tia Fane thought that Uncle Sam was Mr. Peanut. I think I'd keep it if it was Mr. Peanut, but Uncle Sam, I'd let go on. And Our Vagabond Travels picks up the Francoma mug. So thank you for that. All right. So anyway, the next pieces originally had been in my booth. We've got the orange kind of tangerine colored flour sifter that had been in my booth for $12. Got the King Juices syrup container, had been in my booth for $10. It's got the little thing on the top to do the syrup. And then the chopper with the wooden block on the bottom and the embossed measurements on the side. That I had in my booth. Oh, it looks like the tag fell off. I want to say that was probably in my booth for $10, maybe $12. I can't remember. Anyway, I'm selling all 3 of them because I need to free up the space at the same time. Selling all 3 of them for $10. So $10 for the 3 pieces of kitchenware, $10, and that is number 14. $10, number 14 for the sifter, the syrup, and the chopper. All right. Okay, next item. This is something that I didn't technically include this as a sneak peek, but it was on my Instagram. So if you follow Instagram, you would have seen this. But it was kind of a fun research, and somebody I did not know. That's what's great about Instagram. When you get the hive mind together, people help each other out. I had this little snow globe Nothing special. It had been in my booth. Maybe special because really Las Vegas doesn't get snow. But you just had this relatively, what I would have thought was more modern than it even actually turned out to be. But it's just a snow globe. And on the bottom was just like some scratches and some stuff written in. I never really paid that close attention to it because I just thought it was random writing. It didn't look like a maker's mark or anything. When I went to bring it into the sale, I suddenly discovered that these were not random marks. What that actually turned out, and I had to get help because that first word, I could not figure out what it said. What we've determined is it said cleared. The center word is hero, which is a weird looking R. But the one that caught my mind or caught my attention was set deck. And that is, as some of the props that I've been showing, are set decoration. So suddenly I had a piece that was a set deck for something called Hero, Hilo, or something like that. And it turned out that what we determined is it said cleared, which means it was cleared for use in the movie Hero as set decoration. So the movie Hero, if anyone remembers, 1992, the Dustin Hoffman movie where he saves Gina Davis from a burning plane, and some other dude takes credit for it. And his name just escapes me. But anyway, I don't own the movie. I will admit I went through several of the clips and the trailers to see if I could find this sitting anywhere. I never did. So who knows if it even made the final cut of the movie. It could have been some sitting on some desk somewhere and they never even showed it. But that's the way set deck is. It's just there. Sometimes it gets captured. Sometimes it doesn't. But so what this is a Las Vegas snow globe once cleared for use on the Hero movie set as set decoration. I think that's super cool. And I do think there should be some more value to it, but it's Hero. It's not like it's freaking Gone with the Wind. So, it's not that big of a deal, but I think it's pretty cool. And I think it is a great conversation piece. When you people will be like, why do you have a snow globe of Las Vegas? Maybe you display it on a stand. You just show this. You're like, I have movie memorabilia, maybe not from the best movie made demand, but if you want movie memorabilia, it's only $6. So $6 for the set deck from the movie Hero. $6 by giving me number 39. $6, number 39 for the set deck. And I think we have some takers for number 14. And number 14 goes to Lori at Blue Flamingo Mercantile. All right. Thank you, Lori, for picking that up. All right. Yeah, so something to know, the term cleared wasn't something that ran my mind, but you can also see why I was struggling with what it said, because even after it was told it was cleared, I'm like, oh yeah, I guess that would be a D. I was like, Clarice. I don't know what it said. So anyway, 39, $6. It looks like we've got some takers on that. Looks like Terry Sarcinella is picking up the Las Vegas snow globe. So thank you, Terry, for picking that up. All right. If you have watched my channel, like ever, particularly my live sales, you will know that I cannot do a live sale without coasters. And this one is no exception. So what I have is a super cool, and I'm sure I'm way more excited by this than anybody else, a super cool set of Furstenberg porcelain coasters that are still in their box. So we've got the Furstenberg porcelain coasters in their original presentation box. Furstenberg porcelain since 1747. You can see these are the flower patterns. They are in absolutely perfect condition. You've got, it doesn't say on the back what they are, but you've got the tulips. They are marked with the Furstenberg porcelain logo and then the original stamp of each piece. You've got the tulips, looks like a cabbage rose. You've got calla lilies. You've got regular lilies, I think. I actually don't know what those are. I think those are regular lilies. Maybe a carnation. And I think these are violets or pansies. I don't know what it was. What are the ones with or irises? No, they don't look big enough to be irises. They're kind of flat. So maybe pansies. I don't remember. Anyway, so it is a full set of 6. It is the original 6. I pick these up individually all the time. And they sell them on Etsy all the time individually. This had been set aside to go onto Etsy, and I just never got it photographed. The downside of Etsy, you've got to take all these individual pieces out, take photographs front back. Just never did it. So I'm selling it here. So we've got both votes for pansies and violets. Anyway, so it's the full set of 6 of the Furstenberg porcelain coasters. I'm selling them for $3 a coaster. So the full set is only 18 bucks. So $18 for the Furstenberg set in its original presentation case, which also almost never comes around. So $18 for the full set. So you too can have coasters. Number 95. $18, number 95 for the Furstenberg porcelain coaster set. All right. Next item. Picked up for that same estate sale that I picked up the fan vase that went to, it's going to San Antonio. And why do I want to say rock and roll San Antonio? That's not right. Rags to riches. Oh, kind of close. Rags to riches. So the fan vase. This is, I thought, cool in a different way. So this is a pair of little Buddha figures. Now, these I struggle with some of the Asian porcelain, Asian pottery pieces because sometimes they're really hard to date. And these are no exceptions. This one does have an incised mark on it that says China. So this may not be particularly old, but also where a Buddha is going to be made other than China. So like it doesn't necessarily mean it's new, like a made in China is bad. But you've got the bisque porcelain on his face, on his head and his forehead, which I thought was kind of cool. But you can see his beard and his robe are a high gloss. So it's just a really cool contrast of those pieces. But this one I think is a little bit older, and this one is all bisque. It is not marked on the bottom at all, but you can see it's got the red clay. And it is a little bit smaller in size. You can kind of see the two next to each other. So you've got the one a little bit smaller in a really weird way. He just suddenly looked like Santa at a glance, but I don't think that's what he's supposed to be. I think he's supposed to be Buddha, but hey, you can do whatever you want with him because it does have more of the Asian style robe. I just thought these were two really cool pieces. And Auntie Christie has something running through her head, Buddha, Buddha, Buddha. And I don't think I know what that reference is, but I think I want to know the reference. So Sheila Putnam got number 95. Let me write that down while Christy explains what Buddha, Buddha, Buddha means. I'm thinking it's not Buddha, Buddha, Buddha. Something like that. Something sounds like it. All right. Anyway, I can't do two things at one time because I've already forgotten who got the coasters. I'm too interested in what she's saying. Sheila Putnam got the coasters. So thank you, Sheila, for picking those up. Sheila Putnam. So Buddha, Buddha, Buddha. Okay. Anyway, so it is a pair of Buddhas. So it's only Buddha, Buddha, not Buddha, Buddha, Buddha. So there's only two of them. Two Buddhas. They are $6 for the pair. So $6 for the pair of Buddhas. $6, number 42. $6.42 for the pair of pottery Buddhas. All right. Oh, so Rita from Poteets is saying that the bisque / shiny one is from the early 80s. Used to see that in head shops back in the day. Okay. So it's older than I would have thought. I wouldn't have thought he was even that old. But so that's pretty cool. Pretty cool to know. The next piece, I've actually sold a piece very similar to this, to the point that when I flipped this over, I was shocked at what I saw on the bottom, because I think Michelle from Comfy Cozy Living has sold these. I think Misty from Thrifter Junker Hunter. Oh man, I've gotten her name right all the time, and I just screwed it up. Thrifter Junker Vintage Hunter. She's had. It is a set of pottery that is coming out of San Francisco. That is, I forgot. I want to say, Counterpoint is the name. It's always clearly labeled. I think it might be related to Takahashi, which also is always clearly labeled. And they have this kind of an aesthetic to it, maybe a little bit more of a pebble texture. But this one was made in 1976 by someone named Wynn. So this was actually a DIY piece. It's a wall pocket. It is ridiculously well painted. This to me should be a studio pottery piece, but the way it's signed shows that this was probably a home studio piece. This has such detail in the way there's like shading in the plants. Like this to me was a production piece from Counterpoint, and it's not. it's an incised mark. So like you can't do that after the fact. So this was fired by someone named Win, made this absolutely adorable wall pocket. It is beautiful. It is this really soft sheen to it. So it's not technically bisque, but it's not like a super high gloss either. Like this to me, like I just want to kind of like put it with my own stuff because I just think this is gorgeous. I think this looks, I mean, basically a painted lady, you know, a Victorian home. But to me, this also looks like the San Francisco homes that Counterpoint and Takahashi would release. So I think it definitely is a knockoff from there, but it's a knockoff from 1976. So you've got a bicentennial piece here that does not look anything like Uncle Sam. It is a super cool Americana Victorian home, and it's only $6. $6 for your, you know, for your air plant or your pencil holder or whatever you want to use it for. It's only $6, and $6 for number 64. $6, number 64 for the Win wall pocket. And backing up to see if we had any takers on the Buddhas. Yes, so JW Van Minimal. Oh, great. Congratulations. Welcome back. JW Van Minimal actually came, she could only stay for a short time, but she came during the meetup that Michelle at Comfy Cozy Living and I, Comfy Cozy Living and I had co-hosted the meetup back in like August or something. So she picked up 42, the pair of Buddha figures. All right. And all right, wait to see who got number 64. All right, next piece is a set that again had been in my booth and didn't sell, so I hadn't tagged it. Don't want to retag it, so it's coming out here. It is a 3-piece, technically 4-piece. It is a creamer and covered sugar on its underplate. So you've got this beautiful design on both the front and back. It is raised in the pottery, so there was some apple. It's not pressed from the back, but I don't think it's like moriage. I think that is actually maybe slipware done dimensionally, but it's or it might have been done in the actual making of the piece. The floral pieces are raised, so you've got this sugar is decorated on the front and the back. The creamer also decorated on the front and the back. But the underplate is just, it's kind of a cool shape because, you know, how they fit on there, but it is not decorated at all. It's got an unfinished, unglazed bottom, so it wouldn't stick to the kiln. I was selling it in the booth for $15, but I'm selling it here for $6. So, unless I have the wrong tag. Yeah, $6. So $6, originally $15. I guess I can't do 50% off math. So selling it for $6. So $6 for the 3-piece, technically 4 if you count the cover as a 4th piece. And all the pieces are unmarked. Is $6 for the full set by giving me number 40. $6, number 40 for the full set. Yes, and I just saw the comment. If no other reason, you should follow Nate and his channel because you get to hear his cool New Zealand Kiwi accent. So, all right. The next item is another piece. This is not a prop. This is actually a costume piece. So I also did a video on my YouTube channel. I did a video that talked about the props and set design. I also did another one that talked about vintage clothing for theater. And it is the only representation on my channel that proved that I performed in drag. So I was, if anyone knows the movie Some Like It Hot, there was a musical version of that called Sugar, and I played the Jack Lemmon role. So I played the Daphne/Jerry role. So that video had, it was the very last picture I included in the video, and almost no one watched the video to the end. So no one saw it. But anyway, there is a video out there of costumes. This is included in that video. This is not from Sugar. This is from, why can I think what it's from? Little Women. This was from Little Women, the musical. I was Professor Bear. It was the first musical that I had where I was singing. I was in the chorus of another one before that, but I actually had a solo and a duet as Professor Bear. I use this as there's no way I'm going to be able to tie this, but I basically use this. I kind of turned it into an ascot, and then I had a vest. Vest kind of became my thing. Almost every role I've done at that theater, I had a vest. And it started by accident, and then it turned into a purpose. Like we needed to put me in a vest. I did like 10 shows there. So anyway, there's no markings on it. There's no tag. It is a very like coarse. I'm sure it is a modern material, like an acetate or something like that. But you can see it's got this ombre effect to it. So you've got kind of a dark green going to browns, then going back into dark greens. It's got a pattern that runs throughout it. It's a fairly decent length that, again, if you wrap it, like I can cut it in half or fold it in half and then still tie it around my neck. So it is a fairly decent size. And it adorned me during, this was my Professor Bear ascot. And you can have it for $6. $6 for the Professor Bear scarf by giving me number 1. $6, number 1 for the Professor Bear scarf. All right. And I've missed number 64. All right. Number 40, the creamer and sugar with the underplate went to CLC. So thank you, Connie, for picking that up. And then I can't remember. So then 64 went to Dragonfly Attic. Got the wall pocket. So thank you, Dragonfly Attic, for picking that up. All right. And then before I move on, let's see if we've got a claiming for number 1. Looks like no one wants to recreate my no one wants to do a Professor Bear impression, so we will just let it sit here and go unclaimed. Okay, the next item is I don't carry milk glass very often, almost entirely because I can never tell new from reproduction. It's one of those areas that I haven't done a lot of studies on it. Jeffrey from Real Nifty Vintage did a really good video probably about a year ago, maybe almost 2 years ago, where he really did break down like what milk glass he had, the differences between them all. I've yet to be able to master all of that information in the field. But this piece I went ahead and picked up because it had its original tag. So I'm like, hey, it's got the tag. I know what it is. So I can go ahead and purchase it. And no comments while I pull out my cheaters because I can't remember. Oh my God, don't be talking about the Velveteen Rabbit. That's depressing. This is handmade by John E. Kemple Glassworks of, looks like Canova, West Virginia. I can't tell the name of the city. Looks like Canova or Genova. Can't tell what that first letter is, but West Virginia definitely. So it's a Kemple glass. And God, I look like a freak. What am I doing? So take the glasses off. Scarf can stay. So it's a Kemple glass toothpick holder. Pedestal base. It's got the raised rim on it. I'm sure there's a pattern name for that, but once again, this is not a pattern or the milk glass is not something I've mastered. I was trying to sell it in the booth for $8. It did not sell at $8. So I'm selling it for $4. Oh, and number 68. I guess I never put the cover on that one. Sorry. So $4, number 68 for the milk glass. Hey, that caught me off guard too. So number 68, $4 for the milk glass toothpick holder. I don't have a 65. Okay, she fixed it. So I don't know if you got it in time, but you clearly were trying to read the number on the tag. So I think it gets credit to Aileen Myers-Bird, gets the 68/60. I see her first for both, but Aileen Myers-Bird. So you, I think, are also new to me. Welcome. I love adding new people to my channel. So thank you so much for joining and picking up a really good deal. $4 for the Kemple milk glass. Aileen Myers-Bird. All right. Another prop that I pulled out. This actually, Oh, I wasn't even thinking. I guess I did do this. I pulled actually 2 props from the same show. I guess because I was pulling from the same box. So same thing. This came from Death Trap. Death Trap itself is set in the fall of 1978. So what did I do? I went hunting for playbills for shows that were performing in October of 1978. That shows how weird I am. When I get involved in a show, I am absolutely ludicrous in the detail that I try and do. These literally were sitting on the coffee table, which no one beyond like row 2 would have even known anything was on the coffee table. Yet I'm specifically getting playbills that if anyone were to look, they would be able to go inside and see the first Monday in October with Henry Fonda, that this is the, I meant to mark the page and I forgot, that this is actually, and this is actually just as an educational thing too, because I like to teach people on when I can. You can see the very top above the masthead of the Majestic Theater, which happens to be where, Phantom of the Opera has been playing forever. You can see it says opening night, October 3rd, 1978. The only playbills that have that are the playbills that were issued that night. They would print as many opening night playbills as they had seats. They would be issued, and then every other playbill, that column would be blank. So to find a playbill that actually has the opening night date in the masthead is by definition rare. Because for every show, there would only be one night's worth of performances. A Broadway house, by definition, has at least 500 seats. So you'd have at least 500 of them, but how many of them would get kept compared to something like Cats or some of the shows that have lasted forever? Without the opening night, there'd be literally thousands and thousands of them out there. There literally is only probably about 1,000. The Majestic's a pretty decent sized theater. Probably only about 1,000 of these were even printed, much less still exist. So you've got the first Monday in October, and then also a show, King of Hearts. So you've got 2, one from the Majestic, one from the Minskoff. This is not opening night, but it's also from 1978. You got 2 playbills. Yes, Lori, I absolutely miss the theater. This has become my theater. So I'm thrilled when I have an audience. It's really depressing when I do this and I'm talking to myself. So yes, I miss theater greatly, but we need to be safe and hopefully it'll return at some point. We're actually in the process right now and we'll be voting. I'm supposed to be directing I was supposed to direct Anti-Mame in April of this year. Of course, that got canceled. And so it got pushed to April of next year. And we are in the process of voting at this point. That is probably going to be canceled as well. So it's freaking depressing. But I am still selling my vintage playbills because I have no need for these anymore. It's unlikely I will need to have playbills from a 1978 production. So I'm selling these for less than I paid for them because they're just kind of fun additions. And you didn't know that you needed vintage playbills, but I'm talking to you, Melody, because you bought my last one. So you've got a pair of playbills from 1978. One of them opening night, the opening night playbill, $10 for the pair. So $10 for the 2 1978 playbills by giving me number 32. $10, number 32 for the pair of playbills. And for those who joined us late, the 1979 Thunderbird sales brochure, the Thunderbird car, that was also from Death Trap, that actually didn't sell. So that is still available as well. That was number 2, and that was $8. So if you want the 1979 Thunderbird brochure, that is still available. All right, next, I've only got a few items left, and then I'll pull out the bargain bin. So the next item is, admittedly, I purchased in error. I had a large pie cutter that had these porcelain handles on them. And when I found these 2, I'm like, oh, cool. I'll have a 3-piece set and I'll sell them all together. What I didn't realize was this is the powder blue coloration on the base in the porcelain, both of these. The other one is green. So they actually don't match. So I still have to list that other one because that one still has the box. But what I have are the cheese spreader. And I'm going to go ahead and say this is a cheese knife as well. I mean, you can see it's a little bit bigger. But these actually do match. They have the same pattern. They are porcelain handles. The floral centers are Moriage. They are lifted. They are slip glazed, raised. So you have some dimensionality to both of the handles. They're in absolutely great condition. There's no chips, no cracks, and there's no rust or discoloration on the metal. So you've got the pair of servers. I've got too many things sitting around me. I got to make sure I don't switch the cards. So you got the pair of servers. It's only $5 for the pair. So $5 for the pair of servers, porcelain handled, $5 by giving me number 23. $5, number 23 for the pair of porcelain handles. All right. And I think we had a taker on the playbills. So number 32, the pair of playbills went to Terry Sarsanella. So thank you, Terry, for picking those up as well with your other items. All right. Next one. This again was an item that should have gone onto Etsy, and I just never got off my butt and photographed it. So you guys get to take advantage of my laziness as I include it here, because this is super. I just think this is super cool. It is a framed poem from 1926. It is a hinged boxed frame. So you can see it closes completely. It is undecorated on the back, front of the back. It just kind of has a leatherette, type of finish. So it's not designed to be presented. It's just, you would just use it this way. And you can see the art in this. It's called The Day, I think. A little hard to read there. The script is a little fancy. But look at the colors on the back. It's kind of like a mountain stream. You've got the little pixie, elf, angel, butterfly woman who appears to be nude, because that's what everyone did in 1928, evidently. And then on the other side, you have the poem. So I will go ahead and read it really quickly. The day will, because it's not technically, I don't know if it's technically a poem. The day will bring some lovely thing. I say it over each new dawn. Some gay, adventurous thing to hold against my heart when it is gone. Oh, it is a poem. And so I rise and go to meet the day with wings upon my feet. I come upon it unaware, some sudden beauty without name, a snatch of song, a breath of pine, a poem lit with golden flame, high tangled bird notes keenly thinned like flying colors on the wind. No day has ever failed me quite. Before the grayest day is done, I find some misty purple bloom. Oh, hey, Misty. Or a late line of crimson sun. Oh, done, sun. Okay. Each night I pause, remembering some gay adventure, lovely thing. Some it becomes gay, adventurous, lovely thing. That was done by Grace Noel, N-O-L-L, Noel, Crowell, C-R-O-W-E-L-L. And in the very bottom corner, you can see it is an A Buzza motto for copyrighted 1926. So you just have this super cool hinged framed 1920s, like we're like smack in the middle of the roaring 20s, very, deco motifs with the color, and then just that stylized pixie setting. It is available for $20. So $20 for the hinged framed poem from 1926. $20 by giving me number 98. $20, number 98 for the framed poem. And looks like number 23, the cheese spreaders, went to Serendipity by Melanie. And I'm just kind of looking at what I've got left and what I show that has not sold. Katie, did anyone pick up the spam bag and note cards? I don't show that I gave anybody that. And then the last item, I think, no, I got two items. Okay. Second to last item, this was also in my preview. So I can do this without dropping him. It is a rocker parrot, a rockin' parrot. He sits on a little pivot, a little point. I had videotaped him on my Instagram channel on the edge of my piano. And so he swings, he's got a weighted piece to his tail. So it gives him the weight to be able to swing back and forth. He is decorated from both sides. So he is decorated on both sides. This again came from that estate sale I was talking about. According to the woman whose father owned the home, his parents had made this. Now, I have no idea if that is true. This is not marked in any way. I definitely would say there is some age to this. There's actually quite a bit of age to this, but I wouldn't put it like, we're not talking based on the bottom. I don't even think we're not talking Victorian or anything. But I would say we are probably pre-war, but I don't know for sure. It is just super cool. It is super attractive. It's a great conversation piece and completely useless. So if you just need some fun in your life, I've got my little huckster hound that I pet every time I go up the stairs and let his head nod. This is what you can do. You could pet your bird every time you go upstairs, and you can have your own favorite feathered wooden friend, because he's only $9. So $9 for this, and he is like he's basically a piece of wood. He's flat, but he is decorated on both sides. So he's only $9, and you can have him for $9 by giving me number 46. $9, number 46. All right. So before that, I had the Deco double frame. So the Deco double frame, number 98. Okay, so number 98, the Deco frame went to Eileen Myers Bird. You should have gotten the parrot. And then I'm sorry, I did miss. So Auntie Christie got the spam bag. So thank you for helping me clarify that. Auntie Christie gets the spam bag. And it looks like we had some takers for the parrot. So let me see what Katie says. I see a lot of takers for the parrot. So let me see who Katie says was the first person. And then I will bring the last item that I inadvertently put stuff in front of. That's why I missed it. So this was also in my previews. This also came, coincidentally enough, because I don't really plan how I show these things. This also came from that estate sale. It is a pair of bronze lamps. So you've got a pair of Deco, almost Nouveau, and I would say Nouveau style lamps, which would put it prior to 1920. Although I can't imagine these would be prior to 1920. So probably from the 40s, like kind of on the tail end of the modern era. It's got the switch, which turns to turn on the lamp. It has the sweeping lines. It's got the scalloping on the edges, the sweeping lines all the way up to a base plate with then the faux candle sleeve covering the electronics with a modern bulb. I will say I've tested these. They do both work. One of the bulbs is burned out. So they both have this style of a bulb, but as you can see, it's a standard base. The bulb is good. I switched between the two. So the lamps do work, but I'll just say I did not keep it plugged in for very long because I'm not sure how good the plug itself is, because the plug itself, I think, is probably from the 40s. So this is the original plug. They both have identical plugs. I got these for a good price. These had some of the biggest and most amazing comments on my Instagram because they are impressive pieces, and it's a pair, which you're never going to come across these as a pair. So they're both in identical, perfect condition. If they don't sell here, these are actually only going to go to my booth. These are going to go to Etsy because I know they're worth, based on what others have sold for, I know they're worth money. But I got a good price on them, so I'm passing a good price on to you guys. So I'm selling the pair probably for what I probably list one of them for alone. Selling the pair for $30. So $30 for the bronze pair of lamps, knowing that you probably will want to rewire them, but regardless, it is $30 for the pair of these lamps. And you can get them by giving me number 62. Number 62, $30 for the pair of bronze lamps. And it looks like somebody else wants to see the scarf. This is the scarf. We can do a babushka out of it. I wore it as Professor Bear. I wore it as a ascot, which I'm not going to be able to replicate, but kind of like that. It is a lady's scarf. I mean, there's no question that this would be a lady's scarf, but when you're 40 feet away from the closest audience member, they don't know that. So it just matched the color scheme of what Professor Bear was wearing, because he's supposed to be a German. And I was wearing all browns throughout the show. So this was just a little bit of color is in there. And the scarf it was number 1. I had the tag here, but I seem to have lost it. It was number 1 and it was $6. So $6 for my Professor Bear scarf. Number 1, $6. If you pay me enough money, I'll wear just about anything. I still have one of the dresses I wore for when I dressed in drag. So, there's always that. So Auntie Christy gets the pair of lamps. Your box is going to be very large, Christy. But congratulations. Those lamps in and of themselves, I think are worth it. And I'm really glad I could pass a really good price on to you guys. Because yes, I could have tried to get more, or I could have done it as an auction or whatever. I don't want to do that. I want to give you a good price and have the fun of everyone trying to get it. So I appreciate all the people that were trying to grab one. If you didn't get it, I apologize, but it looks like Annette Fain wants the scarf. So Annette Fain gets to pretend to be Professor Bear. So the only, did I miss who took the parrot? Let me go back. Auntie Christy got the lamp. So the parrot was before that. Number 46. So Blue Flamingo Mercantile got the parrot, but that's okay. I do not judge. So Lori from Blue Flamingo got the parrot. So the only things that didn't sell were, and I don't normally do this, but I only had a couple things that didn't sell. The wood chocolate box, the Polish chocolate box, that had been $4. So it's number 55, $4 for the Polish Flavel Krakow chocolate box. And then I don't think I had any takers unless somebody grabbed it after I mentioned it the second time. The 1979 Thunderbird sales catalog. Wait, somebody just grabbed the chocolate box. Serendipity by Melanie picked up this chocolate box. All right, thank you, Melanie, for picking that up. So this is the 1979 Thunderbird sales catalog. It's number 2. It's $8. So this is the only other thing that did not sell. I still mentioned the postcards, number 99 and 61. If you want a postcard of the month, join the postcard of the month club. Vintage postcards mailed to you in an envelope. You want 6 of them next year. It's number 61, $25. If you want 12, it's number 99, $50. And somebody claiming number 2. Oh, Serendipity by Melanie is picking up the Thunderbird catalog too. So thank you, Melanie, for picking that up as well. All right. So now we are to the bargain bin. So if you haven't joined us before, now bargain bin is something I introduced kind of right from the beginning because I had so much inventory. I was trying to figure out ways to do it. I just had items that originally when I started picking up for resale, there were items that I thought I was going to put them on Etsy, and it got to a point it's like $5. So it really wasn't worth it to put something on Etsy and pay the fees and do all the photographing and everything. So since then, I just kind of pull it out on special occasions. Usually when I do a themed sale. This technically didn't end up being a theme sale, but I still had some stuff because there were a lot of things that weren't selling in the booth. And I decided, you know what? I'm just going to bring them in here and knock the prices all down to $2 and just kind of clear them out. And so you guys get really good deals because in some cases, some of these things were listed in my booth for over $5. They're now going to be $2. So for the bargain bin, it's first to claim. These are letters as opposed to numbers. So if you're on your phone, make sure you switch back over to your alphabet as opposed to your numbers. And they're $2. You don't need to wait for the price, but I will give you a number. So this is the new Pillsbury Family Cookbook. It was in my booth as $6 because as is condition, because the cover does definitely have some staining to it. This was definitely used in someone's kitchen, but it's just a vintage, old school, very thick the new Pillsbury Family Cookbook. I thought it had a date on it. 1974. So 1974. So we have the theme of the 70s this evening. So I was selling this in my booth for $6, just selling it here for $2. So $2 for the new Pillsbury Family Cookbook, $2 by giving me letter J. $2 letter J for the Pillsbury Cookbook. This actually came from the estate sale. So this is this has actually never gone into my booth. I just grabbed it because I was emptying bins, trying to figure out where everything should go. This is a cool metal tin. I absolutely loved it. I almost kept it, but once again, I can't keep everything that I've got. It's this the got a jet black matte background with the Asian design of the golden birds, flying around it. It has a fairly decently fitted top, but what's unique about this one is then it has a secondary top that is very snug. So I think this was once a tea canister, because I think it's either a tea canister or a tobacco humidor, because this puppy is locking on there. Like this is probably airtight now. So this was definitely designed to hold something. I want to say it was tea because I saw something on the bottom. Well, it's just made by Hoffman, Switzerland, Justin's, Melrose Park, Pennsylvania. So there's no other, it's not advertising. There's nothing else. There is a design on the top, but there's nothing else on here to indicate what this was. So I think it's a tea tin. I don't think a tobacco tin would be that small, but you can get for $2 the little Asian style tin with the two covers by giving me letter B. Letter B, $2 for the tin. And it looks like letter J, the Pillsbury book, went to Rags to Riches. So thank you. I will include that in your shipment. This is another piece that was in my booth for $6. It is a Meadow Gold creamed cottage cheese, large curd vintage cottage cheese container. It's got the wax finish to the cardboard. It is obviously empty. It does open, but it's not been opened in a while. So the wax flakes a little bit when you try and open it. But it's got the advertisement on the front and on the back. So you've got this cool advertising piece. Was once in my booth for $6. Didn't want to retag it, so I'm selling it here for $2 by giving me letter N. Letter N, $2 for the cottage cheese container. And it looks like B, the black tea tin, went to Auntie Christie for $2. All right. Next one, this was just a little I thought I could read this, but now I can't. Bloom Pardsisser. Bloom Pardsisser. Made in California. So you got California pottery. It's just a little yellow dish. To me, it's one of those cases you would like draw the little eye and the happy face on there, and he'd be a little smiling happy face bowl. He doesn't have a happy face. He's just a yellow bowl. It's, as simple as that. I had him in the booth for $4. Don't want to retag him, so I'm selling for $2 for the little yellow California pottery bowl for the letter A. Yellow bowl, letter A, $2 for the little yellow bowl. And it looks like letter N, the cottage cheese container, went to Purple Love. So Purple Love. I want to think you're a new name. I want to say you had a different name and now you're something else, but now I can't remember who you are. So if you bought from me before or not, just please send me an email, because sometimes people do change names and I do get confused. For the longest, it took me forever to figure out Blue Flamingo versus Blue Feather, and one's a guy and one's a woman. So, I'm not that bright. So, Purple Love, you got the cottage cheese container. Just make sure I know who you are. And so then letter A, the little yellow bowl, goes to somebody. Letter A. I'll see. Wait for Katie to highlight that. Pulled up. I had a bunch of salt and pepper shakers in my booth, and to be honest, they didn't sell particularly well. So I tagged the ones that I thought, I lowered a bunch of prices. I tagged the ones that I thought had the most potential to sell. So Nettie gets the California Pottery Bowl. So Nettie got letter A, the California Pottery Bowl. So I did mark down some prices and retag some of them, but a bunch of them I just brought back. And this is one of the pairs. So this had been in the booth for $5. It is an Anarco Japan Paisley bandana pattern in the brown. So it's a brown bisque ground with the bandana pattern in white and black on the surface. One has one hole, one has three. They both have, I don't know if those are the original plastic stoppers, or most likely since it's marked Anarco, those are probably replacement stoppers, but the stoppers are in place by Nate. So the pair of bandana salt and pepper shakers you can get for $2 by giving me a letter I. $2 letter I for the pair of bandana salt and pepper shakers. And okay, had another cookbook come out. This one is the Party Cookbook. So it's Party Cookbook. It was dated, I need to write this out on the front. This was dated 1971. Happened to be printed in Australia and then printed in Hong Kong. It is the Party Cookbook. It is their regular paper pages. There are a couple of photographs in there, but these are not high gloss. Again, this is a book from the 70s. So it's primarily just the text for the different recipes, but it is the Party Cookbook. So you've got some pictures there. You've got brunch party, the morning coffee party, the luncheon party, kitchen, christening, children's birthday, open house, cocktail, dinner parties, buffet dinner parties, after theater party, patio party, barbecue, hangi. All right, I need to turn to page 110. Haangi. Anybody know what that is? Because I did not see that before, so I did not look this one up. So hangi is a shallow pit, is scooped out of the ground. It's a Maori. So it's, again, I guess because this was printed in Australia, it's a Maori tradition. Looks like they're having a luau. So that is hangi. So if ever you need anything you needed to know about hangi, you can get from the Party Cookbook for $2. So $2 for the Party Cookbook, $2 by giving me letter Y. $2 letter Y for the Party Cookbook. And it looks like letter I, the bandana salt and pepper shakers, went to Sheila Putman. So thank you, Sheila. I will add that to your box. All right, a few other things in here. I don't know if Laura Bemos is still on, but I've got a deck of cards. I actually did reprint my decks of cards because they sold okay. I didn't print enough, so I finished labeling them all, and I had one left over. I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I'm sorry, forget it. I'm not going to bother trying to tag this one. So this had been in the booth for $4. I'm now selling it for $2. It's the Rainforest at Moody Gardens. I had this in a haul video, and somebody told me Moody Gardens, I believe, are in Texas. So the deck of cards, $2 for the Moody Gardens. They actually are still sealed. They have the little plastic band around them. So these have not been opened. The cards themselves were made in Hong Kong. And so Laura is here, but Laura, this is her pool night. So no worries, Laura. I know you're busy. You're trying to do multiple things. I hope you're doing well in pool. So $2 for the deck of, got the parrot on there for the Rainforest Moody Gardens card. $2 for the deck of cards for letter H. Letter H, $2 for the parrot cards. And it looks like letter Y, the Party Cookbook, goes to Karen Dondelinger. So something that won't break is also going to California. So that makes my day. All right. I had a couple Canadians in the house. I don't know if you want this back. So I had one Canada decorative plate. It is from Custom Ceramics, decorated in Canada in Stouffville, Ontario, Stouffville, Stouffville. It's got the big Canadian flag in the middle. And then what I'm assuming is all the provinces going all the way around. And we will not do a pop quiz to all the Americans because I certainly could not name all of the provinces of Canada. I will say I've been to Nova Scotia and I've been to Prince Edward Island. Yeah, so I've been to a couple of the more obscure ones, but yeah. So we got the Canada plate. It is what it is. Simple. It's only $2. So $2 for the Canada plate, and it is letter M. Letter M, $2 for the Canada plate. All right. And I think I just lost something. Oh, the H, the cards. So Blue Flamingo Mercantile gets the cards. All right. Another cookbook. This is the Cutco cookbook from World's Finest Cutlery. So this is actually from Cutco, is a division of Wherever Aluminum in New Kensington, Pennsylvania, printed in the USA by Western Publishing. And it was copyrighted in 1961. So we're getting older. So this one is a little rough shape. The spine's been bent up a little bit, you know, so it's definitely showing its age. But the graphics on the front, I just think is super cool. So I think if you've got a vintage kitchen or vintage, you know, kitchen display or tools, I just think this would be a cool propped up in the background with things sitting in front of it because it's just got a cool cover. But when you go into them, you do some color, you know, I take that back. I actually did make pork chops one time and I made those little caps and I still know how to do it. But you know, you don't really see things like that anymore. And then the pages are not high gloss, but so the pictures change into black and white. So you learn all your cuts of meat, everything you would need to know about a cookbook made by a knife company in 1961. So you can have the 1961 Cutco cookbook for $2. They gave me letter U. $2, letter U for the Cutco cookbook. And it looks like letter M, the Canada plate, goes to Melissa Lynn Colbert Amiot. And I just Frenchified your name. I apologize, it's not supposed to be. And so then U is the Cutco cookbook. I have another book. I've only got 2 items left. Got another book. This one, admittedly, I'm bringing out because at the time I put it into my booth, I did not realize what it really was. It is a VeggieTales. And if anyone watched my Christmas video, which I just posted, I actually talk about really the extent of the Huckster Helper's knowledge of the Bible almost entirely comes from VeggieTales. So we have a very soft spot for VeggieTales. This is the Jonah VeggieTale book, and it's Draw with Jonah. What I didn't realize, and I should have, is what it is you're supposed to have one of those dry erase pens so that you can then draw within the book. I did not have the pen in this book in the booth, so I was just selling the book. I still don't have the pen, but now I'm just going to sell the book. So I'm selling the books for $2. VeggieTales are awesome, and if you don't know VeggieTales, you don't know what you're missing. It was actually created by a company it's a Chicago-based company, so it was a big deal around the Chicago area because it would have the local impact as well. But so it was definitely some comics that were cartoons that definitely had some humor for the adults, even though it's still all biblical. The adults wanted to watch with it. So anyway, $2 for the Jonah Draw with Jonah VeggieTales book. $2 by giving me letter L. L for $2 for the Jonah book. And it looks like the Cutco cookbook went to. I just saw it. Gabrielle White. So congratulations, Gabrielle, for picking that up. So $2, letter L for the VeggieTales cookbook. And then the last item in bargain bin tonight is the last pair of salt and pepper shakers. So this one, again, I had a bunch. I basically refilled one shelf to hold my salt and pepper shakers. So when I ran out of room, the others came home with me. So another pair that came home with me are the cows. So you've got the 2-hold cow and the 3-hold cow. You've got the plastic stopper. So they have the unfinished edge. So I'm not sure these are super, super old. But I was selling them in my booth for $6. They did not sell. I'm selling them here for $2. They're in perfect condition, no chips, no cracks. $2 for the cow salt and pepper shakers. If I give me letter D for dog for the cow salt and pepper shakers. So let's see. L went to somebody claimed with an Elaine Wallace. Were you claiming with a lowercase L or an I? I probably shouldn't use L for that reason. So I don't know if anyone claimed the Jonah book. Yeah, so Katie was asking that too for clarification. I do have some claimers on this one. Looks like a couple on that. So that was everything. So appreciate everyone joining my sale. It is now 10 p.m. Eastern at 11 p.m. Eastern. So Elaine Wallace did pick up the Jonah book. All right. So thank you, Elaine, for joining the sale again, because I know you just picked up some things from the sale I did at the Fox over the weekend. So thank you for clarifying that. And then who got letter D? Let's see who Katie says got letter D. So our Vagabond Travels gets D, the cow salt and pepper shaker. All right, so in 1 hour, unless it's changed, I know there's some chat because this overstuffed house was actually in the chat. I believe her sale, as Angela Markberry is saying, so her sale is at 11 p.m. So you get an hour break before you can join her sale in an hour. And this is the Angela Marksberry I was talking at the beginning of the sale. You should follow her on Instagram under A Marksberry, so the letter A and then her last name, which is spelled that way on the screen. Hey Vinny, that is she posts the weekly calendar, so that'll give you an outline for everything. So join this overstuffed house tonight. Check out the calendars that are being posted by Katie from Vintage and Vinyl. Thank you so much, Katie, for helping out. And then on Sunday, join me. I will be doing another one of my Trusty's Vintage Deep Dives. I do those 2 times a month. This time there'll only be one because of the Christmas holidays, but so my one and only deep dive for December is on vintage fountain pens. And I'm going to force him to talk about rollerballs and ballpoint because I collect ballpoint pens, and I bought many from him. So Nathaniel from thepenmarket.com will be on my deep dive on Sunday, December 13th at 8 p.m. Eastern, also on this channel. It is a live interview so that you can join the Huckster Helpers for that. You can ask questions, watch the chat. It will not be a sale, but he does have his own channel. So a lot of the things that he'll be showing most likely will eventually be for sale if you are so interested. So if you can join the deep dive on Sunday, that'd be great. Thank you for joining my sale. I will have another sale next Sunday. It might be a group sale. I'm trying to pull together a special sale with some individual vendors from the Rustic Fox, where we do a typical 4-seller, 1 sale event, but with all of the other some of the other vendors from the store. And then maybe we can combine for shipping, because I know that that's popular as well. So thanks everyone for joining the sale. Thanks everyone for giving me your time tonight. And thank you for putting your trust in Trusty Huckster. Everybody have a great night. Bye-bye.